Hello boys and girls, I'm here today to introduce to you your next project for this upcoming week, and that will be a painting, kind of a painting, based off of a guy named Wassily Kandinsky. Wassily Kandinsky was a Russian-born artist who created abstract designs out of lines, shapes, and colors. So, in my demonstration, I will show you how to use lines, shapes, and colors to create an abstract Kandinsky-like painting. One of the really unusual things about Wassily Kandinsky is they believe he had a condition called synesthesia. And synesthesia is a condition where if you hear music, you see colors. Now, nobody knows for sure, but one thing that's kind of a tip-off to the fact that he may have had this condition was that he often titled his projects after musical arrangements. So some of them are called like Composition 8, Composition 4, things like that. So there is some belief both among the art community as well as in some of the scientific community that Wassily Kandinsky had synesthesia. You could look that up and see exactly what it is. It's not like a bad thing to have, I suppose, especially if you're an artist, but they do believe he had it. So in the following video, I'm going to show you how to do your project, so please bear with me. Boys and girls, as far as supplies for the project, you'll need some Sharpie markers. Thick one, thin one, but most likely you're going to use just the thick one. For coloring, Crayola markers if you got them, Sharpies if you got them, either one can work just fine. You're going to need some things to make shapes. Rulers, big one, little one, small one, whatever you got. I don't know what happened to my small one. There it is. Let's see. Other things you can use to make shapes. Cups, or not cups, but lids, things like that. You'll need those things. Pencil, eraser, obviously those are all things that you need. Now, in my demonstration, I went right to Sharpie. You can go right to Sharpie, but remember, if you make a mistake while you're in Sharpie, you can't fix your mistakes. During the project, you are going to stain your paper. There's a few things you can do to stain your paper. If you have watercolors, you can use watercolors to stain your paper. Now, I mistakenly thought, I was thinking of all the Kandinskys that I've seen, and they always have a tan background, but you are welcome to do any color background you wish. If you don't have watercolors at home, you would need your grown-ups' permission, but maybe you have food coloring at home. Okay? Or, in the worst case scenario, things like soy sauce or coffee, anything that would stain the paper. But if you want colors, you're going to want to look for food coloring or watercolor paints. Don't use a brush, use a napkin, a paper towel, and we're just going to use a paper towel and we're going to stain the whole paper once we have it all drawn out. But you got to draw it and color it first. Okay, boys and girls, I've finished the coloring of my Kandinsky design, but the last thing I want to do is I want to stain the background. Now, I have watercolor paints. You may have watercolor paints, or you may not. So, in the interest of those who may not have watercolor paints, I'm going to use a kitchen item. And I'm going to use soy sauce. Can you see that? I'm going to use soy sauce. Some of you may use coffee, some of you may use tea. But whatever you use, watercolors, tea, soy sauce, whatever, for your grown-ups, put down something to protect the tabletop you're working on. I'm using aluminum foil. You might use several layers of newspaper. You might use cardboard. But protect the surface you're working on, especially if you're using something like a kitchen product, because this stuff can stain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm not going to go back and forth. I'm not going to brush it because the ink from those markers will soften or reactivate and then smear all over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just in one direction. And I'm not looking to get really dark. Maybe a little darker than that. Okay, but I am looking to stain the surface of the paper. Don't brush back and forth, please, because it will ruin your work. I'm not even sure how many times I can go over it like this without ruining my work. But it's all an experiment. That's what we do in art. We experiment, we try things, we try new techniques all the time. This is actually working really good. It smells like soy sauce, but it's working like I planned. I'm happy for that. My green right here is starting to smear, so I'm going to avoid that area a little bit. And that's my project.